It's all right. The fans are not happy at the moment with West Ham, how things are going, how the club has generically been managed. They're stuck in the London Stadium. We say stuck. It's a beautiful stadium.
And we had to watch Joe Cole.
Joe Cole was the name on absolutely everybody's lips.
Yeah, and rightly so.
There is a certain irony that is developed among football fans for ownership groups. Now, what I would like us to start with today is a rough outline, a rough gauging on who's doing well as an ownership group in the Premier League, and who needs to get the hell out of town. So, if we're starting...
Straight get out of town or
straight get out of
needs
town,
to do
because,
better?
let's face it, we spoke about West Ham in previous weeks, okay? And they've changed from manager to manager to manager to manager without any kind of significant change whatsoever. All right, they're stuck in the London Stadium. We say stuck. It's a beautiful stadium. It's a great theatre for athletics, not for football. The atmosphere is something that kills. And if you refer back to Upton Park, the kind of atmosphere, being in the away end at Upton Park was special. It was one of my favourite places and an away fan to go to because of the atmosphere, because of the pressure. You had those tower blocks just overhead as well. It was a bit of a scrum if anything happened. You could run around the place, basically. It was fun as hell. The new stadium is not that. Now, I understand why they've done it. It's to save money. They've got an amazingly cheap deal for a stadium. They haven't had to invest, 600 million or 2 billion as Man United are going to do. And I can understand why they've done it, but it's not a football stadium. And as an ownership group, you need to really, really get that right. Isn't it fundamentally important that your circumstances where you're playing are right, and is that worth their investment?
I think if you look at it from, there's two aspects you can look at it from: player, fan point of view. Well, there's three aspects then: player, fan, and then ownership. Mm-hmm. And I think it's 2 against 1 right now. So I think if you get an honest player, does he really, really enjoy playing in there? Only they can decide that. I didn't really enjoy playing in an athletics track stadium.
Is that because it reminded you of running?
No. It's just that the fans were so far away.
Yeah.
It was hard to get any type of atmosphere. Really difficult. You know, even for example, when I was playing at Karagümrük Spor, not even at Karagümrük, when I used to play Fenerbahce or Galatasaray, and we used to play in the Atatürk Olympic Stadium. Mm-hmm. It's where the Champions League final was.
Yeah, is that for the bigger games? Is that why they moved there? Because
No. So some teams would rent that out. Like you said, financial is cost them hardly anything because nobody uses it, and it's a municipal stadium. Mm-hmm. So they get the benefit. So like you said, like if it was like, for example, back in the day, it was like Istanbulspor. When they play against Fener Gala, they will go into that stadium because they know Fener Gala fans are going to come and fill up half of it. Mm-hmm. Right? But it's so far away.
And what kind of effect does that have on the atmosphere of the game itself? From a player perspective?
Sometimes from a player perspective, you feel like you're playing in a pre-season, behind closed doors. There's no fan engagement. There's no I don't know, you don't feel the ambience. It's much quieter.
So can you hear? Do you remember in COVID as well? I used to quite enjoy the football because you could hear everything that was going on the pitch. And when you can hear what's going on the pitch, it feels a bit like training, doesn't it?
Exactly. It's like a training ground game, right? And I'm not saying that that's what it is there, but I just think if you are an owner,
atmosphere.
You have to really ask yourself. I think there's 3 aspects. So, fans' perspective: do the fans really like it? I think the fans will like it in terms of getting to there. It's probably all right because Westfields, there's things to do before the game, loads of stuff like that.
It's a lot easier to get to than Upton Park was,
right? But what you're actually going for, the 90 minutes in there, or let's say
what you're meant to be going for.
What you're meant to be getting there for. Do the fan like it? Do the fans like the engagement? You know, when the Blowing Bubbles song comes on, and like in Upton Park, when those bubbles used to come out, everybody could touch a bubble. Mm. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Amazing place to play a game of football, Upton Park. I've never been to
the Olympic Stadium. Yeah.
What's the new stadium called again?
I don't even know. It's that much.
Is it London Stadium?
The London Stadium.
I've never actually been inside
It's
or play the
lovely.
game there.
It's lovely,
It looks
but-
like a beautiful stadium. That's not what I'm saying, but I'm saying for fans' perspective, if you're going to watch it and you're a million miles away, you're taking your kids, you know, you're not. It's not like how we say, like the ambience is not there.
Yeah, and I would say as well, you know, as from certainly from a supporter's point of view, or when I've been going to watch football, do you think the difference of having Upton Park as that base model for them as well makes a big difference? Because Upton Park for me was probably the most atmospheric stadium. White Hart Lane used to be good as well, but I think Upton Park, just for the reception, the kind of area that it was in as well, the communication that the fans had with the players as well. You know, there used to be this unity. And I think if you look at the structure of Upton Park, remember it had the bar at the front. And it was the players would congregate in there as well. And the fans would just come by. So you had such proximity to those players, which I don't think you get anymore.
My first game going to Upton Park was I was going to watch, because I was playing at West Ham that time, and we had to go and watch FA Youth Cup.
Who were you with? Were you with the team at the time, or?
Yeah, I was playing for West Ham.
Okay.
I was under 14s, I think it was.
I never knew you were at West Ham.
Yeah, I was at West Ham.
Another one.
Anyway, listen. And we had to watch Joe Cole. That was Joe Cole's FA Youth Cup. And the whole...
Because he was... Let's set the scene with Joe Cole. Joe Cole was the name on absolutely everybody's lips.
Yeah, and rightly so. Like, that was one of the best performances I've seen from someone that age, and every fan. So you know when you walk into the stadium through the car park, Upton Park.
Yeah.
That side of that stand there.
The one with the sort of papier mâché.
Right, that was full, rammed. The other side they didn't open.
Yeah,
I don't
but
think
they
they realised.
They probably could have filled it.
Yeah, they could have filled it. People were just coming to watch Joe Cole at the time. And saying to myself, yo, this is definitely a stadium you want to play in. Even just from that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now, if we look at it, you have to remember, and I want everybody to really understand this, and people, a lot of fans don't like to acknowledge that ownership of a team is actually a business as well.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Sorry. You know, and I'm always for player and fan within reason. But on the other side, it is a business. It is. So on the business side of things, it's a great deal for the West Ham ownership, right?
It's absolutely amazing.
Crazy deal.
You call it a no-brainer deal. But the problem is...
But what they have to do more is now try and... They've got leverage now, because what would they do without West Ham now, the stadium? Okay, so they've got leverage. Now they will have to try and implement more fan engagement. For me, try and move... So what Flamengo used to have, they used to have a second stadium, right? Mm-hmm. This is what, I'm not telling West Ham to get a second stadium, but what they used to do in the second stadium, they had like retractable seats.
Yeah, the seats.
So West Ham have to try and find a way of bringing the fans closer. I don't know how to do that. I'm not an engineer, I'm not an architect, but it can be done, 100%.
There's numerous examples around the world of athletics tracks being converted into
coming in, coming out, seats coming over. They have to try and find that, because they have to try and find a way to make that stadium a fortress like Upton Park was. Because when you went to Upton Park, sometimes it weren't necessarily like, oh, we're playing against whoever it was, Lampard.
Yeah, it wasn't necessarily the individuals within that team that would give you issues,
it's going to be a tough day.
You knew that every single time you went down there, it was going to be fiery. It was going to be hot.
100%.
It was going to be atmosphere.
And no matter what people want to say, the new stadium's not even 10% of that. It isn't. And I don't ever have to go there to know that. So what now the ownership does, and you know what? I'm one of them people who's like, put your money up or shut up. I don't own a team, right? But just if they was to ask me, my opinion is now try and find a way to make it more intimidating, make it tough for the other team to come there. Because I feel, you know, when the team's not doing well, but there's no other variables. Do you understand what I mean? So it's not like
if you're looking at getting those, like the British cycling team Sky, where you're looking for marginal gains, basically. The
Marginal
David Brailsford
gains,
thing where
yeah.
you look at every single element of your club and decide, can we improve that? Can we improve that? Can we improve that? But I would say that with West Ham, if you're looking, so you've covered the fan aspect, right? The fans are not happy at the moment with West Ham, how things are going, how the club has generically been managed, the atmosphere within the stadium as well, or lack of. But from an ownership perspective, they're possibly quite happy with how things are going.
I think they're very happy.
They're not bottom of the table. They're not going to get relegated, we don't think, this season, are they?
It'll be tough for West Ham to get relegated. I just think, like, West Ham is an absolute hidden gem. But it's not hidden.
Yeah.
It's a known fact that they're a hidden gem. You understand what I mean? Like, in terms of how many fans they got, how many fanatical fans they got. So let's be real. Yeah, probably
The history
out
as
of
well.
all of the London teams that are in the Prem, yeah, they probably got the most fanatical. And they
Should
actually
we say most in terms of, there's a real style to a West Ham fan as well, right?
Yeah.
It is a proper East London.
in terms of when you go to well, I haven't been in a while, so when you go to a West Ham game, 75% of people you're sitting next to or look around are from East London.
Yeah. There is a very, very local following.
And that is tough to do for any Premiership team nowadays.
I mean, if you go to Albert Square, they're all West Ham supporters.
To try and
Why wouldn't West Ham then just sort of cordon off the racetrack, and then you can have standing on the track?
West Ham.
We've solved it.
Seb Ewing.
Literally solved it. How good is that?
No, but it's not just a West Ham thing. I just think, like, I think you should understand your clientele. Understand the actual fan.
And is that
goes to the game.
is that where the ownership of West Ham are going wrong? Because they're not new owners. They've had this club in their stewardship for many, 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 many years now. So they are not blind to their supporters.
But they might. But this is what I keep saying. It's very. They might not be going wrong. They might be perfectly. No, it's fine.
As a business, they don't appear to be overspending. They don't appear to be overreaching. The ins and outs are okay. I don't think they've signed as many players as the fan base would have liked this year. But they are not in immediate danger of being relegated every single season, as was the case, 10, 15 years ago. Is it West Ham fans that are too expectant, or is it an ownership group that is arguably hampering West Ham? So if you're taking the club, and let's say that you take the Newcastle's owners, the Saudi investment fund, you put, okay, they own West Ham now. How high do you think they could potentially go? Could West Ham be a Champions League club? You've got
with the fans that West Ham have, if they get it right, they can definitely be a Champions League club, 100%. But you got to remember that the someone like the Saudi fund, they got unlimited funds, right? No disrespect to the owners at West Ham.
Yep,
way more
Sullivan's.
money than me and you. But I'm saying, like, there is a limit to obviously what they're being able to do. I don't think if someone like the Saudi fund comes in that they'd either buy that stadium and absolutely change it, or they'd look for another location. Do you understand what I mean?
But
they would probably do that. But again, people's business are run differently. So how you run a business is not maybe how I would run a business. What is winning for you with your business might not be winning for me. So it's just down to what are they classing as winning, staying in the Premier League and being